Welcome to Acid Theater. Welcome to
Hello everybody and welcome to Flat Cat Radio, the alternative to the pay-to-play Hollywood music scene, bringing you the best songwriters LA has to offer every week for free. Joining me tonight, my co-host Brooke Trout. How you doing, Brooke?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks, Dave.
Very pleased to have in the room a very unique performer, comic songstress Veronique Chevalier. The best way that I could describe it in terms of genre would be to say that it's spooky polka. It's like something that Dr. Demento would play on his show. But let's talk a little bit about your project. It's called Polka Haunt Us. So it's a play on words, and Brooke knows all about that, right, Brooke?
Oh, yeah, all about puns.
It was sort of a joke that got serious, and I'm not quite sure how the spooky aspect got involved, but it worked out pretty well. And I also did get on the official Grammy ballot.
I gotta ask, what category?
Polka!
Polka, okay. I know that you had a lot of really incredible people involved. One of them is a friend and former guest on my show, Japanese guitarist Go Kurosawa was on, was it 2 or 3 tracks?
Was it called the guitar?
He did Devil's Guitar,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also Strange Faces in the Floor.
The Face on the Floor song, though, reminded me of, like, Edgar Allan Poe's, like, Telltale Heart, you know?
Oh.
That whole, like, in the calypso rhythm, like, you know?
Oh, I just provided each of the artists with the lyrics, told them where the legend was from, and then they went with it.
You just worked with one producer for the entire project?
His name is Jan Castor. He is also a composer and lyricist and performer. He actually was signed to BMG in Australia, and he does the Kalkajaka polka track, and he plays the didgeridoo. He actually studied didgeridoo with the native Aboriginal people in Australia. He was nominated for the equivalent of the Australian Grammy for a soundtrack he did called Red Express.
Well, now, real quick before we... oh, go ahead, Brooke.
I was just going to say, this album, like, really plays with genres because each of the songs deal with a different culture, you know, and, like, different ghost stories from all around the world, so it's really unique.
So we've actually made hybrid polkas. We've made, like, Asian polkas.
Yes, that's my favorite track on the album, as a matter of fact.
Oh, well, good.
We'll have to play
That's
that later.
done by Kai Kurosawa, who is Go's baby brother. It is probably the world's first gothic industrial Asian polka. The vocalist is Micah Bando, and then Cal Arts music faculty member Vinny Golia, who is a renowned woodwind expert, played shakuhachi on that also.
It's incredible how different and unique your projects are, and how, you know, involved they are with all these different people and all these different styles. There's a lot of physical humor involved, a lot of visual humor. You use props, but your live act is definitely visual. You have to see it.
I like the one about Eva Peron.
Oh, Afterwife Polka Tango. And I'm very pleased that Mike Surratt of Washington, D.C. composed the music with me. He also composed another track called Ghost Train. And then we have a wonderful, amazing guest violinist, Lily Hayden, who is known as the Jimi Hendrix of violin.
She's so good on this album.
Jan has known her many years, and
she's a heavy hitter. That's really
something.
She
tours with Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, among others.
You had another interesting choice for vocalist on a few of the tracks here too. She's an actress also, but she was in the Police Academy movies.
Marion Ramsey.
That's really great vocalist.
Well,
really
she actually appeared on Broadway before the Police Academy movies.
Oh, well, there you go.
And she was roommates with Nell Carter, and actually she and Nell were 2 of the characters upon which the original Dreamgirls Broadway show was based upon. Yes.
Wow.
The first version of Dreamgirls was based on her and Nell. Marion is an amazingly accomplished diva, and she can do anything and everything from opera to R&B to gospel to soul to pop to rock.
Versatile, wow.
And such a lovely, sincere, open soul. I
okay.
was lucky enough to get her on this project again through my producer Jan Castor. The track on which Marion appears it's called Castle Leap, and it's based on the story of Ireland's most haunted castle. And it's kind of funny to have a African-American woman singing with a Irish brogue, but we kind of said, well, that puts a new spin on Black Irish now, doesn't it?
Yep,
so
that's right.
we've dubbed her Marion O'Ramsey.
You know, I'm looking like all the tracks, and honestly, I don't have just one favorite because they're all so unique.
Here,
It's like a bunch of
with
ghost
this.
stories.
The idea
Incredible.
was to take a multicultural trip around the world, and I believe that I've succeeded in that regard.
Oh, what is the name of the barmaid in hell?
Oh, it's Helga, the devil's beer maid, actually.
Oh, okay.
And I came up with the character, and I think she came out pretty well.
Oh, who did you get that was a famous yodeler that worked with Disney?
His name is Kerry Christensen. Kerry was gracious enough to do the yodeling tracks.
And he is a world-class yodeler.
Oh, he truly is.
yeah.
Jan produced the musical portion of that. However, I must add, and we have Alex Meissner, who was nominated for a Polka Grammy in 2007, doing his accordion virtuosity in counterpoint to Lily Hayden on her violin in Full Moon Face Off. So it's a story about someone who has ventured out on the wrong portion of the lunar cycle and the resulting mayhem that can occur under those conditions. Jan, my producer,
He
is
is,
also the
okay.
vocalist on this particular track.
Well, now, which one did we say we're going to do? Oh, we're going to do Ghost Train, right?
Yes, and this
Okay.
is based on a Canadian legend of an incident on the Alberta line, the railroad, in the early 1900s. My dear Mike Surratt, again in Washington, D.C., was kind enough to compose it, and then we were very, very lucky to have it turn out so beautifully with Jan's special sound effects and his production.
Yeah, that really was.
I need to add that we did a lot of these recordings remotely.
So I could say you were musically trained.
Ah, Brooke. I was waiting for the bad pun tonight, and there it is, folks. There's your groaner for the evening.
I needed to get back on track.
Oh, here's another one. It's a double shot. Oh, folks, you just can't stop her. And you had mentioned the Fisher Bird Girl.
It is co-written with Elizabeth Ekornes, who is a very well-known soprano in her native country of Norway, and this folktale is Norwegian. So, and she does the vocals, and Jan did a lovely job, again, with the production. It's a very mysterious tale.
Now, you were just telling a little bit about
I was
listeners
just
here.
talking about the Boobies Dybbuk polka track. The Dybbuks have always been fascinating. They're mischievous spirits of Jewish lore. And I found this one based on a short story by a gentleman named Ted Roberts. He writes for many Jewish publications across the country. The vocalist is Gary Shapiro, a friend of mine who is also a writer for Comedy Central, and he's a great stand-up comedian and a voiceover artist. And again, Jan composed the music and did all the instruments. And I also wanted to mention that the music to the song was featured in the soundtrack of the independent film called Four Nights with Anna by Jerzy Skolimowski, famous filmmaker from Poland. And he's also the mentor of Roman Polanski. Well, what else have we got to cover here? The White Witch of Jamaica, the polka reggae. G. Rabe, who is an amazing accordionist here in Los Angeles, composed the music. And she's also a steel drum player. So she played the steel drum as well as the accordion on this track.
Nice.
And then we have Mr. Jan Castor producing, as well as the voices of the Undertaker and the Devil.
Once again, want to mention to everyone, in case you didn't catch before, purchase this wonderful diverse CD. This is something unlike any other CD you will have in your collection. I can guarantee that. And with that, I think we're finally going to wrap it up.
Bye.
Bonsoir.